All right, guys, what's happening? It's Thursday, August 26, 2021. Today, we're going to be talking about relationships and marketing. And I want to take this kind of a different direction than maybe what you would think. When you think about relationships and marketing, you're going to think mostly business, right? You're going to think, relationships and marketing, those things go hand in hand in business. I want to talk about that on the personal side and how the personal side really feeds into business and how those things going hand in hand really do create an entire new economy in your life, in your business, from every aspect. I think this is going to be a really interesting episode. Let's get started.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life. And then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right, guys, what's happening? Good morning to you and happy Thursday, man. It is a beautiful day here in Pittsburgh. Actually, it's a little rainy, but it's still a beautiful day because I am feeling better. I'm pretty much back to normal, which I am extremely happy about and extremely satisfied to be feeling myself again. So this morning I wanted to jump in and talk about a topic that I think is one that people will recognize when we talk about it, but maybe not one that is necessarily top of mind for folks because, everything in the world has really changed around us so quickly when it comes to technology and social media and, just kind of the connections that we make and how we make them and then how we deepen those connections. And, it's an interesting transition that we are in the middle of, really, when it comes to business. But then as I started to think about this, from the personal side of things as well. And I thought, man, what a great conversation and some great insight this is going to be about, just how relationships and marketing, those two things combined, they are really the new economy. And when you think about how businesses grow, you're gonna come to the conclusion that it is really about relationships and marketing. When those things go hand in hand, it creates a massive overflow of opportunity and a massive growth potential for any business. But then on the personal side, as I started thinking about it, the same is true as you combine relationships and marketing, which they will call in today's world kind of personal branding. Those two things combine for an abundance of relationships and opportunities and connections and just everything, man. It all ties together. And so whether it's business or personal, those things are really, they go hand in hand and they create opportunity for massive amounts of growth and massive amounts of abundance and fulfillment in your life. And so I'm going to break down a little bit about that this morning here. But first, as always, I want to say good morning to some folks. What's happening, Tammy Clark? Good morning to you out there on the West Coast, bright and early. John Stanton, good morning to you. Daniel Good, Dan Hill, Ryan Austin, Holly, good morning. Curtis, Michael Bonetto, and David Martin, good morning to you guys. And thank you guys for being here. I do want to plug this real quick. So the podcast that I did, the podcast interview that I did with Vaughn Kohler is live on all podcast platforms. So I'm going to pop that into the comments here so that you guys can link over to all of the different podcast platforms and you can start listening to that episode. So it's live today on audio. It'll be live next week on video. So if you guys want to catch that episode early, it is available over there on the audio platforms. It's incredible, man. It is such a good conversation with Vaughn. He's just such a wealth of knowledge and such a great dude from a personal level, from a professional level, and especially from a spiritual level. So it is it's a conversation that you don't want to miss. And so I encourage you guys to go over to the podcast platforms. Just click those links that are in the comments. And you'll be able to get over there and download that and start listening to it today. So appreciate that. So when it comes to relationships and marketing being the new economy, I want you guys to think about what that means. So relationships and marketing. So number one, I would ask you, let's focus on the business side of things first. How are relationships actually formed? So how do you meet people? And so in what we'll refer to as the old days, before the world of digital, we used to pick up the phone and call people and then go meet them in their office. And, it's kind of the normal old fashioned way to do things is you'd go to networking events, and those things all still exist. But when you actually think about how networking is done today, how relationships are formed today, it's very different, right? If there is not a digital component to your relationship building, to your ability to secure and deepen relationships when you're not necessarily in person with someone, you are missing out big time. And so relationships and marketing, relationships and branding, relationships and an online presence really go hand in hand to create what we refer to as the new economy. And so as I started thinking about this, I was thinking about it, from the business perspective. And I think it's very easy for us to see that those businesses that we trust the most, we see them all the time, right? We see them in what we'll refer to as the virtual world, on our phones, on our computers, everywhere that we are existing, whether it's on social media or, browsing for things on Google. Maybe they're on television. That's a version of digital as well. But those relationships that maybe we establish first in person can deepen or gain trust through digital platforms, through things like this, people being able to hear us communicate and spread our thoughts and spread our strategies and values and principles that we believe in business. Or they can actually start the reverse. Isn't that true? We can start them digitally, and then eventually we can connect with those people in real life, and those relationships will scale, deepen, the trust will increase, etc. The opposite way. And so I want you guys to think about how you're doing that in your own lives. Think about, are you spending time creating new relationships digitally? Well, most of you guys who are on here live listening are. If you're listening on the podcast or you're listening on replay, ask yourself that question. Are you creating relationships? Because if you were, for example, watching this episode live, listening to this episode live, you would be able to connect with the other people who are dropping comments in here. And you'd be able to see a person that might be able to help you in business, a person that might be able to, introduce you to someone that could grow your business. You can connect with somebody here, and then you can take that conversation off of social media, and you could start to connect in real life over the phone. Then eventually you're going to meet that person in person. Think about that and how those things go hand in hand. By the way, all of that I just described and how you're doing that is a version of marketing. Now, the background of that, the backbone of that, is the frequency in which you're showing up. So if I can go to your Facebook page, or I can go to your Instagram page, your LinkedIn page, and I can see a lot about you, I can see what you stand for, I can see your values, I can see your principles, I am a lot more likely to connect with you, to reach out, to say, hey, man, I'd like to have a conversation. I think we might be able to help each other. So relationships and marketing combined, that is the new economy, guys. And those companies that are winning the fastest, that are creating the most momentum, and those individuals that are creating the most momentum, the most opportunity, they are existing in the digital world. And they're existing in a way that is very human in a digital world. Think about that. I asked this question yesterday on our Top Contractor School Inner Circle call, and I want you guys to consider the same. How many of you know people that you communicate with on a regular basis, but your relationship really deepens or has a lot of frequency from an online platform? And it doesn't matter, guys, if it's email, if it's text messages, if it's social media, if it's, whatever it may be. those relationships are being formed and deepened in today's world. The trust is actually being built online. And it is very important for you guys that are out there in business. It doesn't matter what you're doing, how you're earning a living. It's very important for you to realize this. The future is being visible in the digital space. It's being able to gain trust in the digital space. It's being able to be front and center for people so that they can understand who you are, what you stand for, what your company does, what services you offer, and how you might be able to help them. You have to be able to present that in a digital world today to be able to be successful. That's my belief. I am open to debate that with anybody that wants to have that conversation. But the faster that you accept this as how it's going to be in the future, the faster you're going to be successful. I promise you. And those people that you're able to connect with and the lives that you're able to change and the life that will be changed right in front of you, your own, is all determined on your commitment to being able to do that. Your ability to process the idea of these changes in the world and be able to accept them and be able to implement that into your company, into your life, into your existence, into your family, into whatever it is. Eddie Brown, I couldn't agree more, man. COVID 100% pushed this to the forefront so fast. Relationships and business being done over Zoom calls, over video calls. That has become the norm. And people are accepting this new digital age as the way to build relationships. It doesn't mean that we don't spend time in person with people. It means that we have an alternative to add to what we do. And I'm telling you guys, relationships and marketing, relationships and digital communication is about frequency. The more that you trust people comes from the more times you have the ability to interact with that person. And everything in that conversation goes well. Think about it. That's how trust is created. And the good news is, if you are one of the people that hasn't necessarily embraced this yet, man, do you have a lot of opportunity and success ahead of you. Because when you figure out how to do this, when you figure out how to exist online, when you figure out how to share your thoughts and share your values and share your principles and share who your ideal customer is and how you would like to attract them and who you'd like to do business with, and you start to connect and build this tribe of people that believe what you believe, man, life gets so much fun. Life gets so much fun, man. And when you figure out that posting those things that don't help anybody, that don't make anybody think, that doesn't serve anyone, when you figure out that those things don't push anything forward, your life will go a whole lot faster. And so I challenge you today to think about that. Relationships. Nothing will ever take the place of relationships. But relationships are formed in a different way today, guys. And if you are not taking advantage of this, I would challenge you to say that every person on our team at the Pavement Group, those relationships have been formed online. Like really formed and solidified online. No exceptions. I have not spent enough in-person time with anybody on our team before they worked for us. And for the most part, even after they work for us, because we've got people all over the country, our relationships are formed in a digital world. Whether it's over the phone, on a video call, on social media. And those relationships are real. Ryan Austin just said it, man. All because of social media. We have some of the best friends that we could have in the world. So you can look at social media and you can say, man, there's this, there's negativity, there's all these people talking about negative things or divisive things on social media. It's ruining our world. Or you can look and say, I have a choice of what to consume. No different than in real life. I have a choice what conversations I participate in and which ones I don't. And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do the same in social media. When I don't like something, I'm going to just step away. And I'm going to enter a conversation that does serve me. And so marketing, guys, is a little bit of everything. It's how you show up. It's who you are. It's being true to yourself and being able to do that in a way that digitally duplicates yourself online so that people can ultimately get to know you, can get to know your company, and they can actually form a relationship. Because marketing by itself, the frequency of seeing a company's name or a company's logo or the equipment that they use or what their value offering is, that's just generalized marketing. But if you combine that with your ability to create relationships online, you're going to find out that there's a whole different world out there. And the world of opportunity, guys, is on the other side of you getting comfortable with what I'm talking about. You getting comfortable talking about what it is that you're dealing with, what it is that you're going through, your position on how things should be handled in business. And as you do that, you're going to find people that agree with you and you're going to find people that disagree with you. But ultimately, you're going to end up building a tribe of people that are going to support your business, that are going to help your business grow, that are going to be able to find you easily through the channels of social media. Sharif, I do have two different accounts on Facebook, just one that's a general friend account, and then the other one is a public account, but I don't treat them any different. And I don't believe that anybody really should in today's world. I believe that business and personal is really an overlap. You can choose not to share certain things about your family. I know a lot of people do that. A lot of people's families don't want to be involved in that side of things, and that's okay. But I believe that it is the most highly trusted are the ones that keep those, one and the same, right? It doesn't mean that everything is the same on both pages. Like I don't post the same things to my business page that I post to my personal page, but everything on my personal page is also public. Hope that helps. But this is important, guys, and it will make a massive difference in your life. It will make a massive difference in your relationships. Again, on the personal side, if you use this the same way, like, what do you stand for? What kind of, people do you want to surround yourself with? All those things help you build great relationships. It helps you attract the right people into your life. And for me, man, I've been blessed beyond measure to attract some of the people that I've attracted into my life over the last few years. And that comes from, again, the combination of marketing, putting yourself out there. And I want to make sure that I make this distinction. Marketing isn't putting a message out there that is untrue. Marketing is telling the story of exactly what you are and who you are and allowing people to come to that. That's marketing. Marketing is storytelling. It's not creating a story. Storytelling. Carefully crafting that story, right, to make sure that it's told properly. But it is not creating something that you're not. And so that is a big confusion. I think when people hear the word marketing, they think that you're trying to fool somebody or you're trying to manipulate somebody. But it is not that. It is about telling your story and doing so in an authentic way that people are able to connect with. And so I challenge you guys today to think about, how are you showing up in that capacity? Are you showing up enough? Are you being authentic? Are you showing, those things in your life that help people connect with you, like really connect with you and understand who you are, where you're at in your journey? and they want to be a part of that. And if you're not, I would challenge you to start that today. Do something today. Take action today in some way that puts you out there differently than what you have in the past. And if you do that, you're going to see the results pretty quickly. You're going to see people reaching out to you and supporting you that you've never imagined would do that. And I hope you guys all take the opportunity to do that, because it is an incredible opportunity for us to connect with people, honestly, around the world. I have people that I do work with that work with Top Contractor School that are overseas. I've connected with friends all around the world as a result of the opportunity of digital, and it's changed my life. The people that I've met here, the community that we've been able to build around this show, the community we've been able to build in the companies that I am a part of, it has changed my life. And so I encourage you guys to think about that. Relationships and marketing, those two things in business and in personal, they are the new economy. It's how it's going to work. And there is more opportunity out there than what you could wrap your mind around when you figure out that this is how it works. There's a lot of people out there that are looking to connect with like-minded people that can help them get where they're going. And so I want to be that person for you. I want to be that person that can connect you to those people that help you get where you're going. And, you know, when you embrace this, man, the joy you're going to feel is unbelievable. So I challenge you to do that today. Take that step. And again, I'm going to plug it again. Please go listen to the episode between myself and Vaughn Kohler. It is absolutely incredible episode. You guys will fall in love with who Vaughn is as a person. I mean, he is just a phenomenal guy. If you guys don't know who Vaughn is, he was the co-host. He was Andy Frisella's co-host on the MF CEO project, and is still existing there on the Real AF podcast. So it's one of the top podcasts in the world. And the title of the show is How to Feel Joy Through Spiritual Awakening. And man, the story that Vaughn tells about his life, how he got where he's at, how he ended up meeting Andy, how he ended up on Andy's podcast as a co-host is just incredible. And I think that you guys will really enjoy that episode. So again, the links are in the comments here. Just go and click that link to whatever podcast platform you use, and you'll be able to download that today. And I hope you get a lot out of that episode. I believe that you will. So that's it for today, guys. I will see you again tomorrow morning, same place, same time, right here on Morning Perspective. I love you guys. Thank you all for being here. See you.